Once upon a time, there existed a vast and magnificent kingdom known throughout the lands as the Nawab Shah Sultanate. It was not just a kingdom, it was a wonder carved out of marble and gold. The royal palace stood in the heart of the capital, its walls polished to a shine that could be seen from miles away. Every pillar was crafted from rare white marble, every arch decorated with golden patterns that caught the sunlight like flames dancing on water. The gardens bloomed with rare flowers whose fragrances drifted through the palace corridors, filling the air with a soft sweetness that never faded. The people of the Sultanate lived in prosperity. Markets overflowed with goods, silks from distant lands, spices with warm aromas, jewelry that glimmered like stars. Musicians played along the streets at night, children laughed around fountains, and traders sang praises of the king's fairness. The treasury filled year after year, and the kingdom's glory spread far beyond its borders. Yet, behind all this splendor, the king carried a deep sorrow, one that pierced him every single day. Though he possessed wealth, status, and power, he lacked something his heart longed for more than anything else: a child, an heir to share his love, carry his legacy, and inherit the kingdom he had built. The queen shared this sorrow. Every night, she and the king raised their hands in prayer before Allah, whispering with trembling voices, "O Lord, bless us with a child who keeps our name alive when we are gone." Years passed. Their hair turned silver, wrinkles formed from both laughter and pain, yet their hope remained like a candle that refused to go out. The palace echoed with music and celebration for every festival, but the queen sometimes wandered the nursery room, a room lovingly prepared long ago. She would touch the empty cradle, sigh softly, and leave with a heavy heart. Then one blessed morning, destiny finally smiled. The palace awakened to a soft and strange fragrance, as if the flowers themselves were whispering a secret. Servants rushed through the halls with excitement. The queen's face glowed brighter than the sun, and when the royal physician entered the king's chambers, he bowed deeply and said, "Your Majesty, the queen is expecting." For a moment, the king froze. He had dreamed of hearing these words for decades. Then joy overtook him. Pure, overwhelming, tears in his eyes joy. He embraced the physician, rewarded him generously, and immediately gave orders across the kingdom: release all prisoners, clothe every orphan in new garments, feed every poor family for as long as they live. Celebrations burst through the streets like a wave of light. Every house lit lamps. Every market square overflowed with sweets, and songs were sung in honor of the royal blessing. The queen was cared for with utmost devotion. Royal physicians monitored her health daily. Servants brought her fresh fruits and fragrant flowers, and the king visited her every night. Sometimes he brought stories, sometimes verses from the Holy Quran, and sometimes he simply sat beside her, picturing the child who would soon fill their world with laughter. Months passed, and the entire kingdom held its breath for the final moment. Then, one magical evening, when the sun peeked through the clouds with its last golden rays, the queen gave birth to twin daughters. The palace erupted with happiness. The first child was named Zaina, and the second Sheena. The twins were so identical that it seemed as if one soul had been split into two bodies. Their tiny hands curled softly, their eyes shimmered like dawn, and their presence lit the palace brighter than any festival lantern ever had. The king thanked Allah with tears. He prayed long into the night and kissed the queen's forehead. "Today," he whispered, "my kingdom is complete." Feasts were arranged for weeks. Poets recited verses, musicians played enchanting melodies, and dancers adorned in shimmering costumes filled the palace courtyard. The sisters slept peacefully in their golden cradles, unaware of the joy they had brought to the world. But destiny had prepared a cruel twist. During the night of grand celebration, while guests laughed and feasted, a veiled woman slipped unnoticed into the palace. Her eyes gleamed with a sinister fire. Moving silently, she blended among the guests, her presence no more noticeable than a shadow on a bright day. Slowly, she made her way toward the queen's chambers, where the newborn princesses slept in their cradles. The palace guards were distracted by festivities, and no one sensed danger. The woman stepped inside the nursery, her breath sharp with hatred. She glanced at both babies, then lifted the cradle holding baby Sheena. Before anyone could notice, She disappeared into the darkness, carrying the princess into the night. Hours later, when the queen visited the nursery, her scream shook the palace. Only Zaina remained. Panic swept through the royal household. Guards searched every corridor, every room, every corner of the city. They scanned forests, questioned travelers, and lit torches through the night. But Sheena had vanished without a trace. The queen cried until her voice broke. The king withdrew into a sorrowful silence. The palace that once glowed with happiness now felt empty, as though a piece of its soul had been stolen. Years passed, and Zaina grew into a beautiful young girl, gentle, intelligent, and graceful. But a quiet sadness always lingered behind her eyes. She often told the queen, "Mother, I feel Sheena is alive. She is close. My heart knows it." The queen would wipe her tears and whisper, "May Allah make it so, my child." One day, an old woman dressed in tattered clothes appeared at the palace gates. Despite her appearance, her eyes held a certainty that could not be ignored. She insisted on meeting the king. When granted permission, she bowed and spoke with trembling urgency. "Your Majesty, I have seen your lost princess." The king stood up abruptly. "Where?" "In the forest," she replied. "She lives in a small hut, sewing clothes for the poor. But her face, she is the mirror image of Princess Zaina." In that moment, hope surged through the king like a rising tide. He gathered soldiers, arranged a caravan, and set off for the forest without delay. After hours of traveling through rough terrain and dense trees, they reached a small hut. Outside sat a young girl, her hands stained with dust as she sewed clothes. When she looked up, the king felt his heart tremble. She was Zaina's reflection. There was no mistake. This was Sheena. But Sheena believed she was an orphan. She stepped back and said, "My name is Sheena, but I have no father." The woman inside raised me. The king told her the truth gently, his voice trembling. But Sheena refused to believe him, until the old woman emerged from the hut and the guards exposed her treachery. She confessed everything: her envy, her hatred, her vow of revenge because the king had once rejected her for the queen. She had stolen Sheena to shatter the king's happiness. The woman was imprisoned. The king then pleaded softly, "Just meet your sister, child. If you feel nothing, I will not force you to come." Something shifted in Sheena's heart. She agreed. When they reached the palace, Zaina saw her sister from across the courtyard. She froze for a moment, then ran forward and threw her arms around her. "Sheena, I knew you were alive. I felt you every day." Sheena broke into tears. "You are truly my sister?" Zaina nodded, smiling through her tears. "My twin, my other half." The queen joined them, embracing both daughters so tightly that the years of sorrow finally melted away. Light returned to the palace, spreading through every corner like dawn breaking after a long night. From that day on, Sheena never returned to the forest. The princesses grew up side by side, dressing alike, laughing alike, and sharing a bond so deep that even distance and fate could not break it. The king and queen finally found peace, and the sultanate blossomed once more. And so, history wrote, love and prayer are never lost. They always find their way back.